Alpha may have been disappointed, but I don't have the right to lecture other people on the reckless aspects of impulse control after what I did.
I should have known it was going to end this way. I had it in the back of my mind. What can I do to keep her?
I see some of Abigail in myself. Or rather, I see a version of myself that I could have become. Know this, Silas, that if that was me, there is nothing you could have said, or there is nothing you could have done. Honestly speaking, if Isadora ever tells me, I don't want you anymore, Saja, I can't say how I will react. I can't say what I will do. I know one thing that I will do. I will respect her choice. But how do I live with that? Obviously, I make myself scarce, but then what? No, I understand Abigail. More keenly than I care to. I guess what I'm saying is don't beat yourself up too much. There's only so much you could have done.
And I didn't do enough.
Yeah, no, you didn't.
I'm sorry. For you. All. I'm not sorry for her because that's what she wanted.
Have a word with Tolis when you get a chance.
How did she take it? I wasn't watching.
Not good.
Suppose not.
That's the thing about trust, Silas.
Do you take your leave?
Yeah, he makes for the door and then turns around and says one last thing. I know this is rich coming from me, a little bit of hypocrisy, but do get some sleep.
They let out a little chuckle. Humorless.
I'll see you in the morning. Then he takes his leave.
You leave. Yes.
I was gonna say, if possible, I know it'd be another scene of just me and Tolis, but Silas would probably want to go see Tolis that night. Like, basically, as soon as they'd wait a bit to give Sajar time to get back to his room, but then they'd go and try and find Tolis.
You would hear someone talking with Zajar as he leaves and closes the door behind him.
Ooh.
Zajar, as you leave and the door closes behind you, you hear Varric. I can't say I'm surprised that's your advice. Although I don't know how much comfort Silas will find in them. You do not see him.
That's... I'm not surprised at your lack of surprise.
He dissipates the invisibility spell. Do you think Silas might do something reckless in response? He says you both are walking away from the door.
Not anytime soon.
This is not the first time Silas has done something reckless, though, correct?
Correct?
I know you all speak well of one another, with the clear exception of Amber. And to be perfectly honest, it has its place. This is not the first time this has happened for Silas. From this, your take on it, it will not be the last. Given the current state of things, the forces that we contend with, we should count our blessings that this is all it's taken so far, these attempts. But know that there might come a time, there very well might come a time where such recklessness might mean ruin. Utterly.
You're absolutely right.
And this does not concern you.
It does.
But you don't speak against it because you see yourself in a similar shoe. In your tolerance of Silas, you are tolerating your own actions.
That's also true, yes.
Do
I
keep
think-
in mind how far out you, Silas, all of you, keep in mind how far your actions ripple out.
Yes.
God's
You're
above
right again.
knows they are not self-contained.
No. Very true. Allow me to elaborate on what I meant when I said "and not anytime soon."
Please do.
It is in Silas's nature to be reckless, to be curious. And that needs to be tempered with wisdom, perhaps. Right now, I think that their emotional state will prevent them from doing anything rash in the immediacy. So I would personally prefer to give them the time they need to recover into a state of mind where they're more receptible to hear reason. Where they can process what they're feeling right now, and then we can have a conversation. Reiterating exactly what you just said to me, because you are right.
It is beyond me being right. There are certain people in the world, rather everyone in the world, has different measures, different capabilities of that which they are, that which they want, that what they need, that which they will be. Many people regress to what they are. It takes discipline, wisdom, caution, temperance, trauma, perhaps, to get them to rise out from what they are. And as I look upon the rest of River Company, I can begin figuring where certain people fall on their capability of doing that, of building themselves tempering themselves into something else versus falling back to what they are. While I might be right, there are people here predisposed to falling back to what they are. And as such, all the discipline, temperance, all of that is muted, muffled.
I assume you have a suggestion.
Unfortunately, at this time, I do not. Aside from keeping an eye on Silas and making sure no more dangerous artifacts are easily available.
Discipline and temperance. He nods. Not so easily achieved.
No, it's not. But I assure you they're far easier than the inverse. If you all were different people, more, how to say, strict, orderly, abiding, I would advocate for the opposite. For passion, virtue, joy, ambition. I assure you it's far easier to instill discipline and temperance than inspiring ambition and joy.
Yes, I could see that.
You've already met with my mentor. You and I both know how balance is needed. But one must work towards that balance if they weren't already there. As I said, I do not have any long-term suggestions. Only for you all to be mindful of each other. And I will practice what I preach. We both should get some rest.
Yes, we should.
Have a good night, Sajar.
Oh, and Varric,
Yes?
thank you for the insight and the reminder.
There's no need for thanks.
You have it nonetheless.
Well, then I thank you for listening. And he leaves.
And Sajar heads to bed.
And you head to bed. So, Sias, you want to go talk to Tolis. You sneak out of your room. You go over to Tolis' room. It is locked.
They'll knock.
What's roll perception?
Can do. Nice.
As you go to knock, you hear the sounds of crying on the other side. Quiet and muffled. A sniffle. A weep here and there. Do you still knock?
Softly.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
She gets to add a spark of knowledge onto this.
Jesus
Mhm.
Christ, you don't need it.
Oh my god!
You know what the worst part of this is?
What?
It's covering
That's
everything up.
sort of no, that's sort of the problem. Every successful roll she gets, that's fantastic. But when your long-term goal is something dangerous, getting closer to danger is bad.
Ah!
So in a way, Tolis's capability and success is her own downfall in a certain regard.
The closer we are to danger, the further we are from harm.
You hear the crying stop, and some footsteps as she approaches the door and opens it up, wiping at her eyes. Yeah, she sees it's you. Silas.
Tolos.
She doesn't open it like any more so than like, it's not ajar, like barely open, but it's definitely not swung wide open. She's like occupying all the width of it, if you want to call it, visible width of it.
Mhm.
She doesn't really say anything. She just doesn't even look you in the eye.
No, sorry, Sass isn't trying to look her in the eye either. I'm sorry that
She's been shaking her head immediately.
we didn't consult you.
At that, her shaking increases in intensity. No, that's not your fault. It's mine.
But it is.
No.
No, you don't understand, Tolos. Listen.
I'm
This
the one
isn't-
that gave the crest.
And I'm the one who took something from it. I'm the one who did the ritual. I'm the one who remembered what it looked like.
But you would have been able to do the ritual if it weren't for me.
How do you know that?
Do you really think you would have been able to get that information without the crest?
Do you think it would have stopped Abigail from trying?
It might have given us time to get reason of her.
Maybe. I should have tried harder to reason with her in the first place, but I didn't.
Make my perception check.
Hokey doke. Where is it? Perception? Bleh.
Not your greatest roll.
I would have one use of his last wish left because I used it twice.
Correct.
I think I'll use it. I think I'll use it here. Well. Oh!
You do win.
Yeah.
Delvet's room is pretty close. Not directly next to Tolus's, but pretty close by. And you can, as you're like both sort of sitting in sulking silence, you do note that it is slightly ajar. Suppose we're both at fault then.
In a way, I guess we are.
She remains shaking her head. This keeps happening.
Does.
I think tomorrow when should I talk to November?
About all of this?
She nods.
By yourself?
She nods. Unless you think it can help you.
Unless what?
Unless you think it'd help you.
I think that I'd like to come.
She nods. I don't know what Amber would say, but if it helps you, then I'm open to it.
All right. I'll talk to her tomorrow then.
Good night, Silas.
Good night.
Door closed.
They glance over at Delvet's door.
What do you mean it's closed? What are you talking about?
And just sigh and walk back to their room. Well, yeah, back to their room because they would probably have a stash of books. They're not going to sleep. They're going to read.
Okay. At a certain point in the evening, the night, say around the witching hour, maybe a bit past that, you do hear the sounds of commotion in the downstairs area.
Oh boy.
Not commotion in the sense of like someone's fighting, but like just movement and activity.
Seth would sneak out to see.
It's
It's
Blair.
boring just being in a room.
There are certain ingredients that you can prep, or components, or not ingredients, components you can prep for dishes that take time to like say soak or marinate or so on and so forth. She's in the mode doing that.
Seth will try to stealthily watch her, see what she's doing. In specific.
You sneak downstairs. Roll me stealth.
Can do. Stealth. Okay.
You are tied, but it goes in favor of the player in this instance.
Aha.
So you sneak down. Blair doesn't seem to notice you. In fairness, she does look rather
Busy.
and focused in thought. You watch her. She's, again, preparing some components for her food, marinating meats and stuff like that. At some point, she does turn around and then just outright see you.
Mhm.
And she has a momentary look of, not surprise or startlement, that makes it sound like her eyes open up to like some full extent. No, it's more of like a look of recognition as her eyes open a little bit, but then they immediately just sort of slip back into their usual state. And you just look at each other, and then she just sort of bows her head out of the conversation, quote unquote conversation, interaction, and continues working on stuff.
At that, Sass will take their leave and once again go back to their room.
You go back to your room. Morning arrives. Anushka, you wake up early
Mm-hmm.
and make your way down to the kitchen, seeing Blair already there with several different like vats? No, vats not the right word. Like different components being set up, or already set up rather.
He just kind of like stands in the doorway, just like, I should have gotten up at, I don't know. When did you come here?
I don't know. 3 a.m.
3 Blair, you need to sleep. Damn, do you want a hand? Please help speed it up.
Shh, keep it down.
Dan.
I don't need any help.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna make up a coffee. And I'm going to make 2, and if you want one, there you go. Just kind of shuffle over.
Yeah.
By the way, that smells absolutely amazing.
Thanks. She continues working on stuff, and you make a cup of coffee. 2 cups of coffee.
Yeah, she just kind of like, she'll just sort of subtly push it over her way. And start sipping on another. And like start going through like the cupboards and stuff looking for any fancy teas they've got.
What constitutes a Twinsian's perspective of fancy?
Something that's floral and isn't made of grass.
Okay, then there's definitely that.
Oh, that's
Mission
a great
accomplished.
answer.
Simple instructions, all right,
You find
good
Twinsian fancy tea, or as
You did it!
Southerners would call it, tea.
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 Yeah, cool, yeah. She's just gonna like start sniffing it and stuff and trying to like work out what one would go really well with whatever it is Blair's making. And then like put that aside for when she's done and she can make that for Silas.
Yeah, Bora's making a pretty hearty and healthy spread. Maybe not healthy, but whatever. It's comfort food. Oh wait. This is post carnival. Okay, you would actually see her consulting a book every now and again.
Oh.
A cookbook.
An
So-
evil book.
So what is the book you're reading there?
It's a cookbook.
Well, okay, I worded that wrong. What are you making?
Heartlandic cuisine.
Oh, okay. What's that, like, stews and stuff, right? I don't know if I remember.
It's a fucking lot, is what it is. I cook
Yeah.
in such vast quantities. I guess it works out for us.
Suppose so, yeah. When did you start cooking, anyway? I mean, you're really good at it.
She just looks up from the book at you. What do you mean?
I mean,
You
is
never-
it like a...
You never learned how to cook growing up?
I mean... Not... I mean... When I was a kid, we sort of had our food provided, I guess, in a weird way. With Nesty, it was... I mean... He's a great person. Nesty, wonderful person. Not the best cook.
Miles can confirm that account even back in the adventuring days.
Yeah.
Some things never change.
Some things never
Yeah,
change.
I don't think he knows what seasoning. And I didn't know that, so
She looks back at the cookbook. I realized how well I had it, I guess.
What was that, sorry?
I never realized how good I had it, I guess.
Depends, I suppose. Take the good with the bad. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, is it like a hobby, I suppose? Farming?
She shakes her head. I learned how to cook out of necessity. I never really knew my mother, and my father was always busy.
Yeah,
So
but enjoy
I
it.
learned how to, of course, I learned how to cook well. She thinks about something and stops herself, and then just goes back to reading. Make me a persuasion check.
Persuade. Please be. Where's persuade? Oh, I have a +1. Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
You spent all your luck earlier this week.
I know, right? Damn. Not fair. Partly tired me is better.
I'm telling you, Roll20 saves all of its nat 20s for the weekdays.
I know,
And
it
then,
so does.
and then if it causes people to fail on the weekends, that's how they get people to keep playing. It's like a transaction.
He does.
I know, right? It's how the crack gets to you.
Tell you what, roll me a charisma check. This will determine if you get advantage on the persuasion.
Check. Oh, that's a +1 as well. Okay.
I mean, yeah, they're both charisma stats.
I mean.
Okay, so roll the persuasion one more time.
Oh yeah.
Sense of personality working towards being empathetic or sympathetic or persuasive.
I mean, it's better.
Better.
Yeah, it's like
Not
3
by
times
much.
better. It's 3 times better. So
I mean, yeah, but you know.
when
Oh.
you're making food for people, I don't know how it was with you all and your adventuring, but to me, when I make food for people, I always want to make sure it tastes as best it can. The people you care about deserve that.
I think that's gonna like take Anushka off guard for a little minute, and she's just like, you know, tries to hide it, but she's just like, oh, that's actually really sweet. Just kind of looks down at her cup of coffee, like,
Holy shit, she cares, you guys.
I know. Oh my god.
Who could have seen this coming?
I know. Damn.
Fucking hell.
She learned how to cook for her father.
Mhm.
Now she knows how to cook for you guys.
Yeah.
And she never picked up the practice of cooking when she was with the Seekers, so can't imagine why.
Oh well.
But as you know, you're sort of chilling with her for the early morning. Truly, every now and again, you look around, you're doing stuff, and when you look back, you do spot that the cup of coffee that you set out for her does drain over time.
Mhm.
But you never catch her doing it, like drinking it.
Mhm.
Unless you make an
Yeah.
overt effort to try to do it.
I feel like she'd be like trying to, but then she'll look away for a second to go like grab something. She turns around. Another
Make me a dex save.
So. Yeah.
Okay, well here's she technically
That's exactly.
she technically has advantage on these, so you know.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So anyways,
Yeah. Yeah. So
You
exactly
never-
what I described is what happens.
you never catch her. You never catch her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Such a
She
shame.
tries. No.
Tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it didn't even matter.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like she's just gonna sit and, like.
God damn it, Crash.
So,
No. She'll just sit
so
and, like keep her company or something.
yeah, you're absolutely free to. Wait, why can't
Just like chat
why
like
can't I
any
select-
nonsense.
why can't I select
Get an
this?
occasional response or something.
Why can't I select these?
Are they on a different layer?
No, they aren't, but
They-
because I drew them all on the same layer. I never changed that. I literally can't.
What the crap?
Oh, there we go. I got one.
Yeah, sometimes it does that to me too, where it's like it won't
just
let you
can
like
only select one
select
at
the
a time.
shape.
Yeah.
It's really
Really?
weird. Yeah.
Even when
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so like